Allen Iverson was one of the best scorers in NBA history and is most known for his killer crossover. He only stands at 6 feet tall, but has won an NBA MVP award and averaged 33 points a game for a season. But he's one of the all-time greatest players to never win an NBA championship, but throughout his life and in recent years, he's faced some financial and off-court issues. We're going to take a look at where he is now, but first we're going to be taking a quick look at the events that led him to where he is today. Allen Iverson was born when his mom was just 15 years old. His first name came from his dad, Allen Broughton, and his last name came from his mom, Ann Iverson. He kept his mom's last name because his dad walked out on him when he was young. But Iverson would become a star in high school. He was a starting quarterback and point guard in his junior year and led his football and basketball team to state championships. But after that, Allen and a group of his black friends got into an argument and then a fight with a group of white kids. It was said that during the fight, Iverson hit a woman in the head with a chair and was arrested and charged as an adult and received a prison sentence of 15 years. Eventually, after 4 months in a correctional facility, Allen Iverson's sentence was overturned because there wasn't enough evidence to charge him. And since then, there's been a documentary, No Crossover, The Trial of Allen Iverson, about this. And Allen said that the one positive thing he took out of his time in jail was while he was there, if someone saw a weakness in him, they'd try to take advantage of it. So from that point on, he never showed any weaknesses, something that helped him in the game of basketball. And since then, a home video was released that showed Iverson leaving the scene before it got bad that actually matched up with his story back then. But after being released, he couldn't play his senior year of basketball, so his mom actually went to Georgetown University and convinced the head coach to give Iverson a chance. They did, and he averaged 23 points per game in college and was taken as the #1 overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft. After only 2 years at Georgetown, Iverson would start off his rookie season by crossing over Michael Jordan and scoring 37 points, then scoring 40 points in 5 straight games at one point, and winning Rookie of the Year award by averaging 24 points and 7 assists a game. He'd go on to lead the 76ers to becoming a title contender by winning 4 scoring titles, the All-Star Game MVP, League MVP, being the steals leader for a season, crossing over and stepping over Tyronn Lue in one of the most popular NBA highlights ever, lead the 76ers to a loss against the Shaq and Kobe Lakers in the finals, and talk about practice.
I mean, listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice.
On top of all that, he'd average 33 points per game one season, but he'd have problems with coaches and disciplinary issues, so he was traded to the Denver Nuggets and teamed with Carmelo Anthony, and then go to the Grizzlies, where he'd just flat out leave the team because he didn't want to be a bench player. He'd go on to rejoin the 76ers for 1 season, but leave them in 2010 to be with his sick daughter. In his last 2 seasons in the NBA, Iverson only played 85 games, played for 4 different teams, and signed with the 76ers for the veteran minimum, but his time in Philly was the last time Allen Iverson was ever seen on an NBA court. So where is he now? Well, 8 months after Allen Iverson left the 76ers, he returned to basketball for a 2-year, $4 million contract to play in the Turkish Super League. He played his last professional basketball game ever on November 16, 2010, before having calf surgery in January of 2011, ending his career at 35 years old. But soon after his playing career ended, reports came out that Allen Iverson was going broke. To make matters worse, Iverson went to court for owing a jeweler $900,000. He told the judge that he was making $62,500 a month, but his monthly expenses were $360,000. But it's okay though, because back in 2001, Allen Iverson signed one of the craziest shoe deals ever with Reebok. The deal states that Allen gets $800,000 a year for life, which is where the $60,000 a month came from, and on his 55th birthday, he'll get a trust fund that they set up for him worth $32 million. But not so fast. Because back in 2010, Allen Iverson and his wife, who he'd known since he was a teenager, started going through a divorce. So he was so determined and desperate for her to stay with him that he told her he would give her all of his $32 million trust fund if he didn't follow a set of rules. The rules were that he could not cheat on her, could not physically or verbally abuse her, he must go to therapy about his drinking and gambling problems, never gambled again, be home by midnight, and discuss with her any purchase he was going to make over $5,000. It's said that he broke his promise and broke at least one of these rules, so his wife continued on with the divorce in 2013, a mistake that would cost him $32 million. But thankfully for Allen, she decided to give him half of his trust fund back, so Iverson has to make it until 2030 to get his $16 million trust fund. Sadly though, I think it's fair to say that by then he'll have to spend most of that money on the debt that he's going to rack up in the next couple of years. and I can't confirm if these are true or not, but there were stories back in the day that Iverson used to keep a good amount of his money in cash in black garbage bags around his house, and when some of them would go missing, he wouldn't really care. And he even once couldn't find his car in a parking garage, so he just left it there and bought a new one. So we'll see what really happens with that $16 million. But back to 2013. In 2013, he'd get an offer to play for the D-League, but he'd instead retire officially because he lost his desire to play basketball. Soon after, the 76ers would retire his number 3 jersey, and he'd receive a standing ovation. In 2015, Allen made it public that he wanted to work for the 76ers front office because he said he was a basketball genius. I mean, I wouldn't want Iverson handling the money on my team, but he said he just wanted to have some input on draft night or basketball decisions. But that never happened, and it's okay for Philly though, because the process is starting to work. Later in 2016, Allen Iverson was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Soon after that, a photo started going around of how his Hall of Fame trophy was left behind in his hotel. People thought that he just left it there, but that wasn't the case. The director of the Hall of Fame said that those trophies are big and hard to travel with, so a lot of the recently inducted players have left their trophies at the hotel, so the director would ship it to their house. And most recently in 2017, Allen Iverson signed up for the Big 3 League and played as a player coach. After his first game, a reporter asked how he felt, and he said 45 and retired. He only scored 2 points in his first game, and also said, "You're not going to see the old Allen Iverson out there, so don't expect it." Soon after this, Iverson wouldn't show up for one of the Big 3 League games and was said to have been seen gambling instead. Ice Cube in the Big 3 League suspended him for 1 week, and he finished the season playing 3 out of the 5 total games and continued to only average 2 points a game. So overall, after Allen Iverson made over $200 million in his career, he's been a good example of how some people are meant to play basketball, but not everyone's meant to have a lot of money. He blew through it all by being careless and too nice to his friends and family. But he still has one final chance, but not for 13 more years. Hopefully Allen Iverson can hang on and maybe even get a job with the 76ers like he wanted. I'd say Philly owes it to him, but he never got along with management or coaches in his career, so I can see why they haven't offered him anything so far. But this has been where Allen Iverson is as of 2017. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what you think of Allen Iverson, and also who you'd like to see where they are now next.